So joining us now is EMJ Capital founder and president Eric Jackson. Eric, great to have you with us on set here at the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Doug.
This tech trade is something else because it's been a roller coaster ride in certain parts of tech and not as much in others. So take us through what exactly your investing thesis is right now for tech and media and telecom.
Well, I think the Mag 7 rally has really masked a lot of the pain that many mid-cap internet stocks have experienced this year. And this is 2023 coming off of pretty miserable 2022. And even 2021 was not a good year for a lot of tech companies, smaller cap tech companies. So I think yesterday's Fed announcement is going to reverberate in a positive way for a lot of these stocks that have missed out on the Mag 7 rally for the coming weeks and perhaps months. You know, obviously the Fed has basically, it's sort of signaled that for the first time basically since like maybe February 2021, they're kind of stepping back. And so, and Feb 2021 is really when a lot of these tech names went into the tank and have yet to emerge. Some of these names are down 70, 80, 90%. So the Mag 7 is great, but there is significant pain out there.
All right, so take us through what exactly the thought process is when you, as a portfolio manager, take a look at what you want to put on the shopping list. What factors are the ones that stick out most to you right now? Is it interest rate balance sheet driven, or is it more performance income statement driven? What exactly then goes on the shopping list?
Well, I think the announcements that we saw today from Roku, from Palantir, Shopify, all of those reports really speak to there's a lot of health in a lot of these businesses. So whether it's small to mid-cap companies investing in e-commerce, investments in AI, which we saw in the Palantir report. There's a lot of good news out there. And so I think, making your shopping list, you really want to look at how much have some of these names come off, what is their kind of future EBITDA path over the next year, are the multiples. Most of these multiples, like EV to EBITDA, are not even back to like 2017 levels. They're back to 2013, 2014. That makes me excited. That makes me think that the market has sort of cast, some of these names aside, and it's worth looking at them again.
Do they have to be profitable? I mean, that was the big news in Palantir, right? This time around, is it different?
They don't have to be profitable, believe it or not. I think some of the most interesting ideas are the ones that are not profitable today, but they could be profitable a year from now,
like
2 years from now. So, Rivian is sort of like on the path to profitability, for example. And I know it's typically when those names go from, a Carvana today is like tossed aside. It's seen as sort of still a losing company. But, a year from now, 2 years from now, could it be profitable? Sometimes those are the best opportunities. If you go back and look at Amazon, 20 years ago, it was when people were kind of most pessimistic about it, but it was about to make the turn that was the biggest opportunity to get into it.
Do you see Apple as a bellwether for some of these names reporting today?
It's a bellwether for the whole market. I mean, there's no way that an Apple can, basically fall out of bed with a bad earnings report and it not have significant impact on the rest of the market because it's so important. So, Stan Druckenmiller, his comments this week and talking about the risk over the next year that some names could see sort of like a 20-30% contraction. If something like that happens and it takes down an Apple, it takes down some of these other Mag 7 names, that's going to have, big ramifications.
Eric, before we let you go, do you own Apple?
I do not.
Would you own it?
I have owned it off and on this year, and so it's definitely had a pullback. It's come back some now from like 160s to I think it's 177 today. So I'm optimistic. It could be a good report. I think a lot of the people saying, hey, who wants to upgrade to the 15? They say that every year, and yet there's record waiting lines and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be watching, and then on a good report, it's certainly something I'll look to get back into.